Welcome back. Tonight I am with one of our members of BBR, Shane Winfro, and he's a long-time member. I've known Shane a long time. And you have had an experience yourself, haven't you? But we're going to speak about that later. What we're talking about early in the conversation is when you're a member of BBR and you go out looking, you tend to find people who give you good stories, don't you? And that's what you've been doing lately. I'll just get my camera right. There we go. So tell me a little bit about Wormwell Woods, because I don't know anything about it.
Wormwell Woods, it's very nuts. It's well known for ghost and paranormal experiences and that like. But
right, I get you, yeah.
I came across a story for a friend who was on Facebook about a thing came running out at him at this car park at Wormwell Woods. So I've got in touch with him and he's told me all about it. And this was when I went to a bushcraft conference this year, I met him there and he told me all about it. And I said, it probably wanted to go see it, probably were Bigfoot. And he goes, well, that's funny you said that because the part of the woods where in the woods, there's a lot of structures and that lot. Some have been made. I can tell some have been made by humans. You know that because I've been to them. And then what you call it? And it's nicknamed Sasquatch Woods. That part of woods.
So there's been that many. It's now called Sasquatch Woods. That's fucking amazing. That's brilliant. Oh, swore. Never mind. There's no children watching. The structures are a tricky thing. People say, "Oh, but you know you're bushcraft. You're a bushcrafter, aren't you?"
Yeah.
And you know
I'm not a bushcrafter. I'm a wild camper, but I do hang around with bushcrafters, so I do know stuff about bushcraft.
You know the odd bivvy when you find one, don't you? You're not jumping. So basically, there's a history of paranormal activity. There's strange structures in the woods, and people are reporting it as now Sasquatch Woods. So there's clearly something going on there. I'm just going to pull my map up, Shane. I'll have a look what's around Wormwell Woods. Is it not very far from your sighting? Do you know?
It's a long way from it's near Barnsley, in Sheffield, and Wormwell Woods is near Barnsley.
Right, I'll put Barnsley and make it easy for us. Let me have a look. Yeah, there is. There's quite a few actually, Shay. It's like your account, where your account's right central, and you've got all those accounts around it. Well, Wormwell Woods is exactly the same. It's above you and it's north of you. Yeah, I can see it now. You've got one that I've not put on yet, which is the Wortley Black Dog. Then you've got the strange, hairy, unknown thing. Well, we know what that's at the Diamonds. So that's I can't remember that when that happened. I remember who it is. So there's quite a few around there. So the chap clearly knows what he's talking about. And then we've got 2 sets of growls as well, which we want really, don't we? And then we've got a report of 2 kids that see a creature shaking a tree. Yeah, so there's a lot of accounts down there. And honestly, as the crow flies, it's not that far from Catwood, is it really? If you think about it, you were fit, you could walk it. Not me and you, we couldn't, but if you were right fit, you might be able to do that distance.
You could walk it in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so that's nothing to a cryptid. That's easily done. There's enough food down there. I'm looking, it's not that far from National Park, is it really? Yeah, no. When you think about it, no, brilliant. So, getting back to Cat's Wood. I made the mistake in the beginning, do you remember, of putting it on as car wood? I mixed it up. And I put it on as the wrong wood, didn't I? When you told it that. And when I put it in the right place and I had the right name, I realised it's only 2 miles away. There's another account of 2 kids doing exactly the same thing, climbing, making a rope swing. Really similar situation, but I think they only saw the one and it was across the stream. It wasn't up above. And that's why I always get yours mixed up. So if you don't mind, will you tell me what you were doing that day for starters? Because you was only a kid, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, we started off from my dad's allotment, but we're next to Cat Woods, and me, my brother, and a friend. And anyway, we went into the woods to make a rope swing. My brother climbed up the tree, and as he's putting the rope swing up, we could hear howling and noises coming towards us. And like me mate are like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And my brother's like, the tree. He's up the tree, and basically he's ringing. That's getting nearer and nearer. But I've never told you this. Well, I've never told anybody. My brother, it was right next to my brother in the tree.
Right, I get you.
And he said, and he literally virtually jumped out onto the rope swing and climbed down the rope swing and went, what the fuck? And I was looking up and I'm like, what is that? I can see 2 feet, airy feet. And as I turned, I saw a small one jump from out of bushes straight over the stream, and straight over the stream in onto the land across the stream. Anyway, it ran on 2 nook on all its fours into a very what we could say where there were a load of leaves, and it ran into that, and then just jumped out and like just stood there, but my brother and my friend didn't see that one. They're all there, so
was one up
the tree.
Yeah.
We ran out like even on it. But
that's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. Doesn't matter how old you are, that does it really? Do you think it might have materialised, or do you think it was kind of shadowed in the tree? Do you get what I mean? When it's just appeared at the side of him, as it dropped down, as it. I mean, I don't suppose you'd know. You wouldn't have the answer to that.
My brother just said he felt a shake and looked next to him. Because it must have come across from other tree to him. That's all he can say. He just felt a shake as he's put him. He looked and it's there, and he went, okay, I'm climbing on this tree. I'm climbing on this rope. I'm getting out.
I know what you mean. There's no conscious thought goes into getting away. You just get away. That's it. But if you follow that stream less than 2 miles near another set of allotments, there's exactly the same situation, but there was more kids involved. And like I said, there was only one. And that was in the tree as well. And it's that kind of, is it the same one? Do you think maybe you've both seen the same one? What colour was yours? Can you remember what colour the one up the tree was?
Blacky grey colour.
I'm just going to pull that one up while I have a look, Shane. 1 sec. I want to get it right on him. There. Right, I'm going to tell you what. You tell me first. The one, was the one across the stream the similar colour as well?
It was dark colour. That's all I can say.
Right. Yeah, he says 6 to 7 foot dark figure with the brightest red eyes chased him, jumped across the stream, same thing again, and chased him off. But that was it. Ackensthorpe Wood, I think. Let me get it right. Yeah, Ackensthorpe Wood. And they were only young kids. They were only 8, 9 and 10, which is young, innit? You was a bit older, weren't you, when you saw it?
Yeah.
Was you in your teens?
Yeah, well.
It's hard when you're a teen and you see something like that, because when you're a kid, people say, oh, it's just your imagination. It's just some imaginary thing that you've seen because you're a little kid. But when you're a teen and enough, you're old enough to work, you're old enough to get married. So when you say you've seen something like that, you're asking people to take you seriously, and they don't, do they? They just don't believe you. Yeah. Well, a bit different now, but back then.
Well, when we got back to my dad's allotment, we told my dad, and he goes, no, you've probably seen a badger. And my brother goes, well, I didn't think badgers could climb up trees. He goes, you've probably seen things, Scotty, so not there. And went, no.
Yeah, my mum was the same. Yeah, my mum were exactly the same.
And we could still hear it. We could still hear it from my dad's allotment, and said, what's that noise? And my dad's going, it's a badger. And no, that's not a badger, Dad.
No. Because there is reports from that area of howling, aren't there, in screams? And there've been footprint finds from that area as well. There's clearly something moving around out there. I mean, it doesn't. I'm looking now, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 figure reports. Then you've got reports of yellow eyes and red eyes, looking at them from the dark. There's 2 about 2 miles from each other again. Eyeshine and wood knocks, growls, snarls, footprints. It's just if that was in America, there'd be no doubt whatsoever that people would say, well, it's clearly a Sasquatch. Because you're hearing howls, you're seeing dark figures, there's footprints, fines coming out of the air, that's clearly a Sasquatch. Because it's Britain, they say, well, you might have seen a badger. So, it's hard to fight your case, isn't it, when you think about it? So, it's all those people in that area are all seeing something. And then you tie that up with Wormwell Woods all these years later. There's clearly probably just clearly I say, theoretically, there's a corridor there of some kind, isn't there? They're using that. Because it's right off, I'm just looking, it's just right off the Pennines. Yeah. I've got a fly driving me mad. You could go anywhere from there. You can go all the way up to Dewsbury, can't you? Out to Doncaster. Go south past Worktop and just keep going down till you're at Nottingham. Pick up the Trent down there. Or choose the River Irwell or choose the Wharf. It's just surrounded by little corridors where you could just walk out of there and just keep going. Yeah, I mean, how many wild campers do you know of that have had weird experiences up there on them moors and on peaks? Because I know a few. Quite a few.
I know a few, and there's a few what won't say anything about it. You know what I mean? They'll just say, "Nah, it was just a figment of my imagination." But I know 2 wild campers where they've been up at Mermaids and seen.
Yeah.
There's a small wood below Mermaid Pool, and they've been there just on outlines and seen 2 dark figures walking up the what you call it, boulders and rock face up there.
Grinner Rocks, yeah, I know where you mean. There's a few reports around the Mermaid's Pool of like dark figures walking back into the woods. They call it the Derbyshire Moorland Beast now, and I think that's because of all the cattle kills and all the cattle mutilations. It's kind of got that connotation of they're calling it the Moorland Beast. But yeah, he called it a dark biped, the guy who saw the one on the Grinner Stones. And he said it just went up like it was nothing, just no climbing gain, nothing, just right up there. And then the other lad talks about something walking around his tent. He was about 40, similar thing. Something mooching around his tent at night. And there's a lot of my wild camping friends have spoke about that. One guy was telling me last week something peed on his tent. Yeah, which is, you normally hear an animal walking in, don't you? Especially if it's going to pee on your tent. You'd hear a cow stumbling in because they're not like the quietest of animals, are you? And he said something peed on his tent. Yeah, and it freaked him out because it was the middle of the night, but it freaked me out. Someone peed on my tent. I'd probably think it was a mass murderer or something. Yeah. But there's so many reports coming out.
Yeah, another friend of mine he used to go camping in Wormwell Woods, and he used to hammock in Wormwell Woods.
Right.
There's a quarry in an old quarry in Wormwell Woods, and I walked past it and picked up, like a psychic, picked up some really strong energy around there. So I didn't walk into there. I just skirted around it, gave it a wide berth. But he did a hammock camping there. And he heard someone walking around his camp all night. He'll wake up and it'll stop, go back to sleep, do it again. And it happened all night until morning.
Yeah, I've heard of that before. Yeah, something mooching around the tent, going around your camp kind of thing. You hear of that in America and in England. I think there's one on I can't remember if it was on the Peaks, Shane, or it might have been Arwood, where they said he had like a metal kettle, like I have, the old-fashioned metal kettle, and it was squashed. Something had stood and walked on it and squashed it flat like his cast iron kettle. Yeah, and like mine's a beast, my kettle. I can't imagine anything. Even if it had been a cow in mistake or something like that, I don't think it'd have. It was just like flat to the floor. You know, like you see in the cartoons when they flatten something, it looked like a dinosaur, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, me and my brother and my nephew go camping at a place called Lodge Moor. It's near Wyoming Buckets, near Manchester, the main road to Manchester. Anyway, one time we were camping up there, my brother got woke up early. Something in his tent. Something pushing his tent into his tent. My brother, like half asleep, just reached his arm out, and he felt this massive leg, and he just right, and just pulled his hand back and went back to sleep. And he goes, and my brother goes, "Did you hear something come through camp last night?" I went, "No." Says something came between my tent and your tent, and I was fast asleep, Scott. No, I didn't. Well, I felt this massive leg. I said, "What happened?" He goes, I just went straight back to sleep. Went, fair enough. As long as you don't come in here, pal, you're okay. Yeah, my big
I'll just translate for the Americans. Yeah, as long as you don't come in here, pal. Well, that's what you just don't know what to do, do you? When you're a kid, I always thought, was it a ghost? Was it like, because my mum and my nan are a bit psychic. I used to think, was it just a ghost? But if it was, why did she see it as well? Do you know, why did I just not see it when I was on my own one day? Do you know what I mean? Because it's great that somebody was with me when I saw it, because all of those thoughts, you think, well, someone was with you. But in the other sense of the word, she won't talk to me about it. So I'm still kind of on my own with it. Do you get what I mean? Your brother's like that. He's not great about sharing it, is he? You don't mind. And they just decide they're done with it, don't they, Bill? And you don't want to talk about it again. Yeah. But it'll never leave me, being a kid. Karen is a girl up in Stanley in concert, and she was in exactly the same position as you. She was up a tree, and it was up above her, and she was only 6. Can you imagine being 6 and having to like see that? And like, I know it still bothers us to that day. And she said she's going to get hypnotized. Do you fancy it? Wants to get hypnotized? I'll take you back.
People have tried to hypnotize me and they can't hypnotize me.
Ah, right. Oh, that's interesting. Because I have this theory, don't I, that people who see them tend to be either psychic or like animal healers, or they work with energy in some way. Yeah, and I think I just got to get something to hold me cup. I can't hold me cup. My hands are killing. I think that maybe because you're psychic, that's why. And also what comes into play is the bump on the head. Because I had a really serious bump on my head when I was a kid. You know, when you get them really tall slides, what you have on council estates, and they're really, really big. And I thought it was right clever, and I climbed outside. Yeah. Instead of going down the slide, I climbed. It's really strange, but when I was a kid, I liked the feeling of like adrenaline. You know that feeling when your heart pumps when you get scared. So I hung off it like that, being silly, and I let go, and I went and I hit the floor. My mum said I convulsed, and I went out for a long time. And it was kind of after that when I started seeing weird things in my room when I was a kid, and nobody ever believed me. I think they just thought I was being naughty. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want to go to sleep, but I could physically see them in my room. And it's not something I talk about a lot, but I can with you because you're the same, aren't you? You see things as well. So was it accidental that day, or were you meant to see it? What do you think?
I think we were just in the wrong place at the right time.
Yeah, it just feel like that. How many people say to you, "Oh, I'd love to see you on. Oh, I wish that had happened to me." I think they're crackers. Why would they want to see it? Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying. What I saw was about 7.5 foot tall, but not like a basketball player. It was huge. It was like its shoulders were like huge. It was absolutely huge. I can't, like a headboard. It was absolutely massive, and I can't explain that to anyone. It wasn't just tall. It was just the bulk of the thing and how much actual space it took up when you were looking at it, and you're thinking, how can something like that come out of a bush? How can that be? It's impossible, Debbie. You must be cracking up. It's absolutely impossible, but it happened, and I don't know what to do about that other than just keep looking for answers, really. Like you, we just.
Yeah, my friend who was at lives at Wanwell. I think I typed this in for you. A fisherman who'd been fishing pond at night, and something scared him off.
Yeah.
and he didn't know what it were, but it was just he didn't see it. He just heard it in the trees and the bushes around him.
Yeah.
I've been to one, and there's a lot of bushes and trees as well, so he could hear it just walking through bushes backwards and forwards, and he was that scared he left everything there and ran to his car and like, that's it, I'm off. And just
Leaving
gone.
your gate behind.
With my friend next morning, and all his stuff was here still, and he just said it just like someone had been through his keep net that way.
Right. So we're all still there. So it's not poachers
Yeah.
then, because we just took his gear, weren't they? Because I was thinking, you've got to be scared to leave your gear because it's not cheap, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's not like you can just nip out by the whole lot of gear. So just the keep net. And for anyone who doesn't fish, that's the net that when you catch, you throw it in there so it's not dead. It's a net that stays in the water. My dad was a keen angler. Yeah. And so I've heard that before. Cliver Cairns, Inverness and Nairn, there's something there that they say takes a fish from the nets. And down Cornwall, but he won't go on the map. So all I can say it's kind of like Babacoon Way, and that's as close as I can go because he's not prepared to put it on the map because he was poaching at the time. But he said that it's got to the stage now where he just leaves 3 or 4 things in when he goes off. So as if to say, right, you have that, and I'll have that, and then we'll just don't have to see each other ever again, kind of thing. Yeah, it's quite common that. See, I remember you tagging me in it, but I hadn't wrote that down, so I'm going to make sure that I write that down in a bit because I'm obviously going to add them all to the map because lots and lots and lots of wild campers have got in touch, and as I say, the guy who had pee on his tent, and then you count the poachers in, and then you count the police officers in that are reporting, and the people that are out there driving the roads at night, and there's just so many reports coming in. I can't keep on top of him. It's took me weeks to phone you, hasn't it? I mean, we went in Buxton 6 weeks ago, something like that. 6, 7 weeks ago. And it's took me that long to ring you. That's how busy we've been. Yeah, and it's like...
That were a day and a half for me, that were. Finding out I missed us.
I know, it was a mission. I know. Next one I'll do at Todder. It'll be easy for you. I'll do it next one at Todder. I think I'm going to do it in about 4 weeks. Yeah. And then,
I'm up working for a week and all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Kids break up, don't they? So I said to Mark, we don't have to camp over at Todder. It's a quick nip for me and him, that in car. So I'll come up. I'll try and find us a cafe. So we've got a definite meeting spot, yeah? And if I can't find a cafe, I'll find us a pub. Because what I was thinking of doing, it's dark now, isn't it? About 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So we could stay till about 6, 7, something like that, and see what happens when it's dusk. See if it changes a little bit the area, but I'll see what I can do. I'll get on it this week, and then I'll put in my tent away. Then that's it. Then me till spring, because I can't camp in when it's once it's real cold. I'll be stuck in my bed again. So I'll just stick me. It's not. It's kind of like that, and I always say, yeah, that's what I've got because I don't want to really go into explain what I've got. I've got this problem with nerve damage, so all my joints swell, and like where I've got my legs like Barry Sheen. Do you remember the old motorbike driver? And he had all them pins and that in his leg. That's what my legs like. So if you can imagine that all the nerves that are around that just hurt all the time. It's like having toothache all the right hand side of my body. Both my hands don't work. My arms swell up, my face swells up, and they don't even know what it is. They just keep, when they just keep giving you a different diagnosis, and the doctor just said it's something to do with my immune system. I don't even understand, Shane. I've stopped asking there. But yeah, I know you understand because your girlfriend's in a similar position, isn't she? Yeah.
I've got a friend and my sister suffers from it as well, so I know all about it.
Yeah, drives me mad.
My girlfriend was diagnosed 2 days before my 50th birthday this year, but she didn't tell me until like a week after my birthday. So she didn't. Yeah.
So she didn't spoil it for you. Oh, that's a shame. That it is. You just gotta keep as busy as you can, really, if you can. I mean, obviously you can't all the time with pain, but when you can, that's what I try and do. Just try and stay as busy as I can. It's like when you've got really bad toothache, if you can get your mind off it for a bit, it's not as bad as it. So it's like Constantly, always in the back of my mind. So I just think, all right, do something, Debbie. Do something. Just do something and don't think about it. That's kind of become my battle cry at the minute. Sad that, innit? No money, kidding. Yeah. I mean, I've got to be honest, in other things, I'm blessed, aren't I, really? I mean, I think if he hadn't have had that accident, I wouldn't have been stuck on my bed, so I wouldn't have been able to do what I do. It probably never would have happened. There would have been no BBR. I probably would have never looked to try and get like real answers, because you've been looking as long as me, haven't you? And it's not easy. Everybody tells you what you saw, but they weren't with you at the day, whether they weren't there. I mean, like you said, it looked like a chimp at one point when it was down in its gorilla stance. I didn't have that. I just saw from here and the head. So I didn't even have the body to go off. Yeah, so it was like I couldn't. Had you, because I'd never heard of Bigfoot, I'm just thinking about it then, or anything like that until after. Had you ever heard of it? Because it's, to me, in a northern town, it's not really something I'd ever.
Well,
yeah, but
younger, we used to watch Arthur C. Clarke's Extraordinary World, so
right.
Bigfoot was that. So at that age, I knew the name Bigfoot, but I didn't know the name much.
No, I know what you mean. No, see, not even that for me. No, I had no idea. So I didn't know what it was. I had no clue. The closest I've ever come to finding out what it is it looked like the Sykesville Monster, and the Sykesville Monster. It looked like Patty. Do you know the one that walks across the thing? If they'd only shown that much of her, then that's what it looked like. It had a really tanned face, like really leathery tan, like an old bloke who walks. You remember the guys who used to work the roads? So they had that like leathery skin, like that, really dark. Yeah. What stands out most for you? What can you remember the most about his description?
Well, like I say, I only saw a small one. What you call it? Where it just stood on all fours across the stream after it came out of the pile of leaves, and just stood there on all fours. And all I could say, it looked half man, half human, half ape. My brother said when he was up in the tree, this thing could have thrown him to the other side of the woods. That's how big it were.
Yeah, exactly the same.
He said he could have grabbed his head and just chucked him. But he just sat there, watched him. He said it watched him all the way down to the floor. He'd never been so scared in his life.
I don't blame him. There's two sides, isn't it? If you go down the flesh and blood side, you've kind of got between an adult and a young one that's over the stream. So you kind of, if that was the bear situation, you'd all be dead, wouldn't you? Really, you've got between an adult and a child. Even if they're like dimensional or paranormal in some way, there might be something about that area, or you going into that area has made. What's the word I'm trying to make? Some people can open an area like turning a key. If you, like you said, when you went for a walk and you knew that you should not go into there when you were older, that kind of thing. There might be something about you that's enabled that to happen that day. I think that's what the words I'm trying to find. It could be that because you pick up an energy, that you could be like a massive battery, and if you hadn't been with him that day, it might never have happened. Yeah, there's all so many like reasons that it could be. What do you think? What's your personal theory, if you don't mind me asking?
Flesh and blood.
Flesh and blood. Right down the hominid route, mate. It's kind of, it looks exactly what you said, like a man and an ape that's been pushed together somehow. The thing I remember most, Shane, was here and here. I remember the eyes, and I remember his mouth, but not because he was like snarling or anything. Just he was a bit slack jawed, like his teeth were the same as ours, but square. But what I remember the most was here and here because of the muscle, and it looked like he could have got a cow's leg and just crunched through it. It was just massive jaw muscles, and I remember that more than anything. And if anyone knows me, they know my dad. My dad was an handy fellow. He was a street fighter. And he was a big man, like a big Viking of a man. And it made my dad look tiny. And that I thought the same as your brother. I honestly thought he was just going to grab me and just pull me into the bushes and just snap me. Like, that's how big it was. And I remember running home and thinking, my dad wouldn't stand a chance against that. And he's no idea that it's even out there. And it terrified me because my dad saved you from everything. You get what I mean? But he wouldn't have been able to do anything against that. I thought he was going to come and find us at the flat. I honestly thought, oh, it's going to come and find us. Like, it'll be waiting for me there the next day, and all that went on. And sometimes I think it was. I really do, because I've been in other situations in that area where I've heard exactly what you said, that where it sounds like something's walking in the bushes at the side of you, but you can't see it. And I thought it was a lad that was going to jump out and scare me. And it was at the time of the Ripper murders as well. That's how frightened I was. I was only about 16. I'd only just started work, and I was waiting for a bus home. And it, whatever it was, it followed me all the way down Chaseley Road, and I could hear the leaves rustling as it moved, but I couldn't see what it was. And it absolutely terrified me. And then there was another time I was in the park, and anyone who knows the park, there's a dip that's like where the old lake used to be, and it's a car park now. You get a lot of strange people in there. And as I went to walk that way, something made me stop, and I just stopped dead. And I thought, oh my God, there's a pervert or something in the bushes. I just got this really creepy feeling. And I went round the long way around, and I was like, oh, I hate that park. Every time we go near that park, something happens. So sometimes I wonder if it was the park itself. Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I'm getting at? Rather than it being me, it was something to do with that park, because other people have seen it in there. And it might be, I don't know. I honestly feel like I'm clutching at straws.
I'm going to tell you another report. I've typed this one up about a friend who's got a permanent campsite not
Right.
far from his home in Mansfield, and at one time he said something was circling his camp, and I'll
Right.
tell you, it's in a little wood. I mean a little wood.
Yeah.
There's two woods, but either side of this little wood, and he's got a permanent thing. And one night he's there, and he thought it was a ghost, and said, "Probably when it goes, probably a Bigfoot." He goes, "What?" I said, "He goes, I've heard stories, but I don't believe him." I said, "I'll tell you something. I came down last year to your campsite, and I thought you were here." He goes, "What do you mean? You weren't here? You." I goes, "Oh, I remember." I said, "Well, wait." I said, "All I saw was someone running down, and that way,
Right.
with that quick." I thought, "Oh, he's there." And he goes, "Was there anyone there?" I went, "No, I don't know who it were, but someone ran down to that camp. And when I got to your camp, I expected to see you, but there was no one there." He goes, "Oh, right." He goes, "Well, someone else has experienced the same thing, that they've come down when I weren't there, and so somebody was around." So he goes, "Oh, right." So I said, probably a woodman or something like
Yeah.
that.
Is
But
it like when you saw it? Was it out the corner of your eye, really quick?
yeah, corner me eye quick.
Yeah, that happens to the researchers as well. Some of the researchers report that. There's another Yorkshireman that I talked to, and he saw what he described. You know that shape that you see on Sasquatch Chronicles, that typical shape. And he said, "Debbie, I'm worried that the jinn, you know, that kind of spirit thing, because I'm seeing really quick things running at the side of me." And I've experienced that, I'll be honest, and it's scary. And there's a lot of paranormal reports, Shane, where this, I think it gets reported as ghosts because they don't know what it is. You get what I mean? This dark running figure that you see out the corner of your eye. So it's all the same behaviour all the time as all of the other witnesses you've got the sighting. And then you've got all these little multiple incidents where you feel like you're being watched, or you feel like you're being shadowed, or you know that something's there. So it's exactly the same that all of the other witnesses and people who are new to this and getting interested are kind of mentioning it, and then they'll say, I say, "Have you ever experienced anything weird?" No, not at all, except this one time. And then they tell me what happened that was weird, and I think, oh, it's exactly the same again. It's the same for all of them. So we're all kind of in the same place. We've still not got an answer really, have we, as to why this is happening, why we're seeing him, and just what if you see one again? That's a question I've never asked anybody else. But what if you saw one again? What would you do? You don't know. I don't know what I'd do.
I don't know. I'd probably freeze. Yeah, okay, and I'll go opposite way.
I'd just drop on spot. If it I don't. I'm different now. I'd be all right. I think I'd be able to hold it together now. I say that, but I don't know because I've not been in that. I'm not in that position. But yeah, the idea of seeing something that big is absolutely terrifying. I don't know. I kind of lost the words because I keep thinking about that day now. It's keep popping in the back of my head all the bloody time. I wonder if it was something to do with that part, that land. So, what is it?
I've heard a couple of reports not far from where I saw my where I saw mine at a place called Graves Park. People seen a big figure walking through woods in Graves Park, but I know that someone else come on to live chat, and she said she same thing.
Right, I know where you mean. I've just pulled it up. Yeah, there's allotments there. Warminster Road allotments right next to it. Nice little corridor there as well, Shane. I'm just having a look how far away it is.
It's not all that far away. It's about a mile away from my sighting.
Yeah, it isn't it? It's that typical thing again where you've got a really small town and then all the way around it. Just looking for a golf course. There we go. Yeah. And then and there's the railway line. I was just having a good look. It's exactly the same. If I was telling anybody to go and have a look somewhere, that's where I'd send them. So yeah, and it's right next to, as you say, when you were talking before, I said the North Derbyshire Moorland Beast or whatever they called. There's a sighting about 1.5 miles away that links those two together. You've got the Howler of Barlow Woods, the northeast accounts. That was 4 figures walking back into a woodland from one of the crags. Trying to think, there was more accounts on that one. That was the account where they said that they smelled a really strange smell, and it smelled like blood, like drying blood. And they found, on the Snake Pass, walk, they found like a fleece, an empty fleece, but nothing kind of with it. It was really strange. I'll have to read it to get it across. Let me pull it up, see if I can remember. I'm going to give it wrong. Yeah, it's they were up on Snake Pass and they were walking down to Totley. He said, it felt like no sooner had we settled down to sleep that we heard what I can only describe as the deep growl of what was supposed to be a large apex predator. It may sound far-fetched, but that's what it sounded like at the time. And they just basically lay there as quietly as they could until the morning and made it down. And then there's another account of a sheep kill, a really strange sheep kill, and it speaks about the smell. They actually smell the blood before they get there. And it really creeped me out, because that's more Dogman than Wildman. And there's a lot of Dogman reports in that part of the country. Don't want to scare you. I was just thinking about it scaring me, but I don't want to scare you. But yeah, Yorkshire's known for Dogman and werewolf reports. So you've got.
I'm going to tell you, there's a wood, what we live next to, called Buckwoods. There's a path what goes through it called Monk's Path, and there's been 3 dark figures seen at night walking across there.
Same here. We in where the reports are here, there's a very old tale that goes back up to 1500s, and it's these tall, dark figures. They always call it the hooded monk because it's like hunched and you can't see its face. And I think, I wonder if that's what they're seeing, these really quick moving figures in the dark, and they're getting reported for these. I mean, it might be a massive stretch, and what they're seeing is an ancient monk, but I keep thinking this dark, hunched over figure thing that people just keep reporting over and over and over again in the same areas. Like, See, you're braver than me. You'll do a night there, and I won't be able to do a night there yet. I'm not.
Well, I built a wild camp right next to this Monk's Path, just set
Right.
off, just above it, and I camped there about 3 times last year. And on the 3rd time, someone kept chucking little stones into camp.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And that was February last year.
Right. Yeah, I have heard of that. Little tiny pebbles landing in your camp. It happens to a fella in North East, and he just taking a notice, and the pebbles, big stones started getting thrown at that point, and he hit him in the face. But he kept consistently going in. I mean, you were just there for the night, weren't you? So
what we call it. So I just I had some fruit on me, so I left some fruit out, and that had gone back by next morning.
right, so some ate your fruit as well. Flipping out. So you're a brave man. Is there anywhere you wouldn't camp in the UK, or you game for anywhere?
I'm game. I like the adventure, so that's it.
Right.
It gets my adrenaline going. So, you know what I mean. I won't camp on top of a mountain top just in case. Yeah.
I know what you mean. I meant creature-wise. I couldn't camp at Cannock. There's no way I could camp at Cannock Chase. I'm all right in a crowd there, or with quite a few people there, but I couldn't stay there overnight. It'd freak me right out. Plus, I have Mark with me, don't I? So I always feel safe because Mark's with me. I couldn't do it on my own. Not a chance.
2 years ago, I camped at a place in January, just a day after my birthday, called Carl's Walk Fort, or Carl's Walk Hill, up on Burbage in Derbyshire.
Right.
And an old fort, and it goes back to ancient times. It's been what you call it?
Yeah, it's in the Hope Valley. I know where you mean, like an ancient barrow, a hillside thing, isn't it?
Yeah. We had strange things, strange owls up there, but like what you call it? Couldn't see now, just could hear these. Anyway, what you call it? It's been Romans. It was a Roman fort. Before that, it was something else. You know what I mean? So yeah. What you call it?
There's Burbridge Brooks there, isn't it? I'm just having a look at the water sources now. You're basically in. You're right in the middle of the moors, and there's just kind of one. It's not. You couldn't even call it a road because it's just a walking route, really. There's nothing up there. It's a shame. Flipping out. Just having a look now. But yeah, there's a decent stream there. I'm just seeing. Just having a look where that stream leads to. Right there. So you're right on this northeast, these accounts again. It's a set of accounts that came into Chris Turner. They didn't come into me. They got sent into, and the very first report there is 1984. It's I think it's Blackamoor, isn't it? Just off Totley again. Yeah. So there's something around that just off the River Derwent, and then you can walk that river to where we met in Buxton. The Derwent follows up, so it's probably part of that route we was talking about when we was down there. Because when you're in Buxton, you can go anywhere by a river. You just get on that wire and connect to a river, and you can go anywhere you want in the UK. So it's probably just a decent route that they're using. So next year we need to have a camp out there. Yeah, quite a few of us just bivvy up, get between the two rivers in that nice little wood there, and we should just where Fox House is, just off the A625. We should have a meet there and just kip overnight and see what happens.
It's quite a walk in, so you won't be able to.
Mark will get me in my wheelchair.
You could walk up onto Crags easily, and we could camp under Crags.
Mark will get me in on my trusty wheelchair.
Yeah.
Well, he'll try anyway. He'll try.
Those woods outside, we camped there about 3 years ago, and that's when I told you about someone shaking a tree and it went windy.
Yeah.
I gone out for a call of nature because we built our own accommodation, if you know what I mean. And we got up early one morning. Got up that morning like it was light, and I was like, I need to go to the toilet. So I went to the toilet. I'm looking into it, wasn't I? that tree's shaking. No, when weird that, and just didn't think no note about him and make it everything okay. Yeah, didn't tell him about the tree shaking. he would have.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I've heard other people report it as well. Just the one, like it's moving, and they kind of. I think Jason Parsons caught that in Wales. You kind of see the arm come out, and it's not really a sapling; it's a big old tree. It kind of shakes it. I think they're debunking it now and saying it's not, but that's what it looks like to me when I see it. But yeah, it's not too far away. There's kids in the 70s report the same thing. This creature shaking a tree. So I don't know why they do it. I don't know if it's a people around thing or I'm not really sure, but I know of lots and lots and lots of the members that have reported this one particularly. It might be worth asking me, it might be worth me saying on this, if you've experienced that, get in touch with me and I can make a log of that on my map, and then we'll know where that's happening in, and then we might be able to work out if that's a particular habit that we need to be looking out for. A, to go in and research, or B, to not go into that area. If you see that, that might be their sign for something.
Well, what you call it? Tree, pine trees. So they would have been probably after pine cones.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, but pine nuts full of fat, aren't they, and protein and sugars. Yeah. Right. Well, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna hang up in a sec because I need to have it. My head is absolutely banging with this flu. I'm gonna take some paracetamol, I think, and see how I go. But yeah, I don't want to flake out on anybody. So, is there anything you want to tell me before I go, so I don't miss it?
Yeah, I've been researching Warncliffe Woods as well because
Right.
a friend of mine who I work with, he goes walking in Warncliffe Woods, and he said twice he's been followed by something in Warncliffe Woods. And
Warncliffe Woods is an area where Paul Sinclair has a sighting account. It didn't come to me; it came to Paul, and it's a number of. I think they were in the 20s. Quite a few. I'm going to say lads, but I'm probably in the 20s. And he said that an arm came out, grabbed his friend by the calf, picked him up and shook him, and then just dropped him to the ground. And then the arm just went back into the greenery. That's at Warncliffe. And the lad said that he actually had bruises around his calf and his ankle where it had gripped him. Can you imagine that? So,
yeah.
And then you've got reports of, Warncliffe Woods might be an area that we should not be going in because that's quite aggressive, that, isn't it, when you think about it? That is quite aggressive behaviour to grab someone and lift them up and shake them. To me, that's, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go there, Shane, would you?
I would.
Well, I'll send you in.
I would as close as road as possible so I can run out.
Yeah, I'll send you in then. I'll put a camera on you and then we can record the attack. No, I don't think I could do it. We'll see. I might be a bit braver by next year. So I don't give myself enough credit sometimes.
I was going to tell you something else. We live next to a wood called Buck. I told you Buckwood anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, a couple of nights ago, I could hear someone back, and I heard we've got things going in, vegetables going in back garden. We've got turnips, pumpkins, cabbage, sprouts, everything. Anyway, I because it's been warmer lately, I've had window open at night while I've been watching something on YouTube. I heard something on back, and as I looked out, I could see I could see a turnip being, not turnip, what you call it, not turnip, pumpkin being picked.
Right.
But I couldn't see. But I couldn't see what picked it, and I couldn't see where it went. Put it that way. The minute it got picked, it disappeared.
It just went.
Like it went invisible.
I get what you mean. Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it? But see, people say, "Oh, put a camera up," but it won't bother. It'd stop if you put a camera up. Just keep a note of it and see if anything else goes.
Yeah, my mum come to me next morning and said somebody's took one of pumpkins, and this week says someone's been in for tomatoes.
I don't blame him. I didn't get any this year. It didn't come up for us. So you must have better weather than where I am. Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
get
yeah,
a so.
it's weather in Sheffield. You live in Manchester, you live in Sheffield.
Yeah, it
So,
took nothing. I think mine's because I'm under that wood. Because I'm right next to that wood, I don't get any sun. I just don't get any sun. So just nothing's really grown for us this year. It's not been a good crop year. So it is easy enough to stand at the back of your garden and just take something and then just go off again. And just
yeah, it's just got to like go through edges, cross road, cross another back garden, and it's in wood.
Yeah, that's it.
how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just looking at it like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So brings us to this tricky question that some people say that they follow them home. So they follow the researchers home from the woods and they visit the gardens. I mean, you might have heard Werewolf Mike talk about seeing them in the garden. So it could be a simple matter of that
Yeah.
they followed home.
2 years ago, we had a very big crop of butternut squashes.
Yeah.
Squash.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, one night they're all gone. They're all
Some
gone.
had them all.
Some had them all.
Plant them again next year, then Ed. You might get, and then you never know. But yeah, just keep a note of it for me, and just keep your eye on what's happening. And anything that's a little bit strange or unusual, just jot it down. And then I'll phone you again, and we can chat again, and then you can fill me in on everything that's been going on. Because it sounds, if we were talking about Washington State or Canada or Edmonton or something like that, they've said, well, that's clearly Bigfoot behaviour or Sasquatch behaviour. It's clearly the work of a cryptid that's maybe visiting your home on occasions and eating your veg from your garden. Yeah. Which is pretty ace, really, isn't it, when you think about it? People would pay money for that. And yeah.
My brother's got allotments up. It's just above Catwood. It's not the ones next to Catwood. It's above Catwood. Anyway, and he's people saying they've had vegetables took at night and this, that, and other. So I went to my brother. It's probably Bigfoot.
You never know. It might be worth, if you don't mind, asking the other allotment people if anything's gone off theirs. You could say, like, have you had any people come in and set food from you? I mean, you don't have to say why he's asking. You could just say he's had food nicked off his land, and they might say, well, actually, yeah, it's been tomatoes for us or whatever. I mean, it'd be interesting to know, wouldn't it, if anybody else has got any missing food, neighbour-wise or on the allotments. You never know. Yeah, he could just visit. He could nip in off that stream, get what he wanted, and be back on that stream and gone, and you wouldn't even know. Yeah, and it just might be something about you that picks up on him. Like you said, you saw the pumpkin go. It might be something about you that enables you to be able to do that. Yeah, that's really that's why I say just write it all down for me, and then I'll make a note of it, and I'll have a look and see if I can see any patterns or anything like that pop out. Yeah.
I reckon at this time of year, that's when these cryptids are coming out, because it's a free for all now.
Yeah, it's harvest, yeah, I do, and I think that's why they disappear in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. I think there's a plentiful amount of bounty out there at the minute, isn't there? And then they just kind of die off in the winter. We hardly getting reports in the winter, and I think they're out and about and they're foraging and they're putting stuff away for the winter time like we would have done to get us through the winter, because back when we were cavemen, we couldn't just go shop, could we? So we had to prepare for months and months ahead, and we used to leave caches in certain areas so that if we knew that if we had to leave one camp and move to another, there was a store of food or nuts or something like that. And it works for animals. They do it, don't they? That's how they get through winter. Yeah, so it makes perfect sense to me. Right, I'm going to go and get myself a cup of tea, right? And I'll send you a copy of this over. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to say bye to everybody else. Don't you go anywhere. I'm just going to stop the recording. And I will speak to you all next week. Good night.